Okay, y'all. So it's speculated, or Gypsy saying that she gave birth on the 28th of December. Now, I'm not sure if I believe it or not because there's a lot of things that come into play. But one thing in particular is that I looked in my spam messages and I ended up getting a couple of messages saying that they seen Christy Blanchard and Mia Blanchard go into labor and delivery on Sunday, which I think that was the 29th. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, I got 3 messages. Now, they're not people that I know, so it could very well be them putting that out there. But I didn't see it until yesterday. Okay, let me put that out there.
You would think that after Gypsy Rose gave birth to her alleged baby, the mystery surrounding her pregnancy journey would finally rest. But instead, the mysteries only became more intense. Yes, I said alleged, because the entire saga of Gypsy giving birth to her daughter Aurora feels like something out of a fantasy movie. The question on everyone's mind is simple. Where did this baby come from? Gypsy did not appear pregnant in the days leading up to the alleged birth, so how did this miracle baby suddenly appear? Is Aurora really Gypsy's child? Did she deliver earlier than announced? Could the baby be Ryan's? These questions have left the public scratching their heads, piecing together the scattered details of a timeline that never quite added up. Let's rewind the clock and delve into Gypsy's pregnancy timeline. Perhaps, with a keen eye, we can uncover whether Gypsy is the true parent of the baby now residing in their Blanchard home, or if there is more to this story than meets the eye.
Y'all, Gypsy Rose had her baby 1 year to the day that she was released from prison. 1 year ago, to the day she had a baby, she was released from prison. That is crazy. You can't make this shit up. You cannot. Now, I am not a Gypsy hater. Y'all know that. Now, I question her choices? Absolutely. Do I trust her intentions always? Absolutely not. But I think she's human, just like the rest of us, and she's living her life, and let her be. You know what I'm saying? But how crazy is that? She just got out of prison December 28th of 2023, and she had a baby on December 28th of 2024. She has been married. Well, she was married when she got out. I forgot. Divorced. Is she divorced yet? Lord, I can't keep up. Is she divorced yet? She's not remarried, but she's engaged, ain't she? Hell, I don't know. It was a girl. I think they said her name was Aurora. And Ken posted a photo saying the best New Year's present of all or something, or Christmas present or something, on his Instagram. So you can go there and look. But damn, ain't that some crazy mess? I tell you what.
Gypsy's pregnancy announcement came on July 9th in a YouTube video titled, "I'm Pregnant. My Journey So Far." In the video, Gypsy radiated excitement, revealing to her audience that she and Ken were expecting a child together.
I'm happy to announce that I am 11 weeks pregnant. Ken and I are expecting our very first child come January of 2025.
At the time, she claimed to be 11 weeks pregnant, detailing some of her early experiences and hopes for the future. From that point, Gypsy took her viewers along for what was supposed to be an authentic journey through her pregnancy. However, as updates trickled in, many began to pick apart the details of her timeline, raising questions about its accuracy. For instance, some fans speculated that the baby might actually be Ryan's, her former partner. To quash the rumors, Gypsy went to great lengths to present a detailed timeline. She explained that she had officially ended things with Ryan on March 23rd, marking a clean break. According to Gypsy, she then later had her last menstrual period on April 17th.
I don't follow all of this very closely, so we're just going to have to trust Google when it says that they broke up on March 28th. She announces her pregnancy 6 days ago on Instagram and says the baby is due in January of 2025. I've been suspicious that people who are speculating don't fully understand uterine and ovarian cycles, so a little recap for you. This is the hormone trajectory for your ovarian cycle, and the cycle starts at the first day of your period. 14 days later, typically, for the typical person, you'll have a spike in certain hormones that will cause the release of an egg. If the egg is fertilized and then subsequently implants, you will be pregnant. You won't have a period when the next cycle starts, and we will date the pregnancy in terms of like figuring out what your due date is, not when the baby was conceived, but at the date of your first day of your last menstrual cycle. Yeah, just for the people who don't know, these first 2 weeks of pregnancy, no baby yet. The old school way of dating a pregnancy was to use one of these wheels, and it starts over here at the 2-week mark, ends at 42. So I don't think we know when in January she's due. So I just put the 40-week mark at the very earliest part of January, and what we can see here is that conception would have happened in early to mid-April. So my facts are all straight, and she did not have any more romantic interaction with her ex after that March 28th date, then yeah, her baby's not her ex's.
Shortly thereafter, between April 27th and April 30th, she conceived with Ken during what she described as a beautiful and intentional moment in their relationship. On May 24th, Gypsy claimed she took a pregnancy test that came back positive, and with that, she confidently announced to the world Ken is the father. In a subsequent Good Morning America interview, Gypsy appeared unwavering in her conviction. She reiterated firmly that the baby was Ken's and dismissed any lingering doubts about paternity. There has never been a question about this, she declared with a confidence that seemed designed to shut down speculation once and for all.
So to be clear, you haven't been with your ex for this is clearly
months,
Ken's
March.
baby.
It was mid-March when I left Ryan. So this is absolutely 100% Ken's baby. There was never any question of paternity.
How do you think your ex is going to react to this, especially given that you're going through a divorce proceeding still?
I'm hoping that he is okay emotionally, and I wish him the best emotionally. But right now, I have not even had a moment to stop and think about anybody else except for, am I taking my prenatals in the morning? Am I drinking enough water? Like, I have so much to focus on, making sure that I'm healthy for this baby. So.
You've clicked into maternal mode.
I have, absolutely, nesting and everything.
Her tone was decisive and she appeared steadfast in defending her narrative. Despite this, her explanation did not entirely quell the skepticism surrounding her pregnancy. For a moment, her insistence seemed to quiet some of the louder critics. However, others couldn't ignore the lingering discrepancies in her story. The way she presented her timeline, while seemingly clear, left room for doubt in the minds of those analyzing her every word. As we delve deeper into the timeline, Gypsy's claims about her last menstrual period and conception date appear to align loosely with her stated pregnancy weeks. By calculating from April 17th as the start date, her declaration of being 11 weeks pregnant on July 9th checks out on paper. But there is a fragility to this narrative that cannot be ignored. The math adds up superficially, yet the peculiar way Gypsy recounted the events and the unwavering confidence with which she defended her timeline raised eyebrows. It's as if the delivery of her story was too rehearsed, leaving many to wonder whether there were deeper, hidden layers to this already perplexing tale. But let's analyze this timeline in detail. Gypsy stated that her last menstrual period was on April 17th and that she conceived later that month. Typically, doctors calculate pregnancy weeks starting from the first day of the last menstrual period, as exact conception dates are often uncertain. If we use April 17th as the starting point and count forward to July 9th, when Gypsy declared that she was 11 weeks pregnant, the timeline barely checks out. However, even with these calculations, the doubts did not fade, they only intensified, as Gypsy continued providing updates that raised more questions than answers. On September 18th, Gypsy announced she was 22 weeks pregnant. In this update, she shared what she described as key milestones, claiming to feel the baby kicking and even observing her baby's sleeping patterns. She pinpointed specific times like 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. when the baby would be most active.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard shared a 22-week pregnancy update. Most importantly, she shared the anatomy scan results. First, she explained that an anatomy scan is to check to see if there's any abnormalities with the baby. She said after she had her scan, her doctor called her about a week later and said that everything looked good, the baby is developing as she should, and she's the right size for that gestational age. Gypsy said she was worried because her bump is on the smaller side. She also talked about her cravings, that she's still craving sweets. She talked about her emotions, and she feels that she's calmed down now that she's in her 5th month. She also talked about the nurseries. Gypsy said she is still living with her parents, so half of her room will be a nursery and the other half will be her room. But since Ken has his own place, the baby will have a full nursery there. Gypsy said she has a healthy pregnancy and she is blessed that things are going so well. She also shared her baby bump.
While such details might seem endearing, they struck many as overly precise, bordering on implausible. Typically, expectant mothers describe fetal movements in broader terms, and the accuracy Gypsy provided raised eyebrows. It felt more like a narrative crafted to sound convincing rather than a genuine experience. To add to this, Gypsy's tone while recounting these moments came across as detached and mechanical, almost as if she was reciting information from a pregnancy guide rather than expressing her personal joy. This lack of emotional authenticity left many questioning her sincerity. Scrutiny grew sharper as photos began to surface. For instance, on September 18th, Gypsy's belly appeared larger in private snapshots than it did in public outings. Observers noticed a striking difference when comparing her appearance at the LSU game she attended with Ken around the same time. There, her baby bump seemed significantly smaller. To counter these speculations, Gypsy took to Ken's Instagram, posting a photo where she lifted her shirt to display her belly. The caption read, "The haters will say this is AI," alongside the hashtag 22 weeks. While this may have been an attempt to silence her critics, it seemed to have the opposite effect. Instead of quelling doubts, the inconsistencies in her appearance led to even wilder speculation. The pattern of her belly seemingly changing size from one day to the next became a focal point of online discussions. Some theorized that Gypsy might have been using a prosthetic belly, wearing it inconsistently depending on the situation. This idea gained traction as more images surfaced showing her bump fluctuating in size to an extent that defied natural pregnancy progression. These photos further fueled the narrative that something about Gypsy's pregnancy did not add up, leaving the public divided on whether she was being truthful or orchestrating an elaborate deception. The speculation only grew in October when Gypsy and Ken were spotted in San Francisco, where inconsistencies in her appearance became even more evident. In some photos taken during their trip, Gypsy's baby bump appeared nearly non-existent, sparking a fresh wave of questions. Fans began comparing these images to the curated photos Gypsy had been sharing on Instagram. In her post, her bump looked pronounced and unmistakably, yet in candid shots taken with fans, it was almost imperceptible. This discrepancy led to online debates, with many questioning the authenticity of her pregnancy. Even when Gypsy was photographed with her sister Mia during a casual shopping trip, the same issues arose. Her belly seemed practically invisible, causing further confusion among onlookers. In response to the mounting criticism, Gypsy took to social media with a defensive comment stating, "Because unknown to the internet trolls, a woman's body is not the same as another's. I have a small baby bump that appears larger when wearing tight-fitting clothes and barely noticeable when wearing baggy clothes. It's common sense." While her statement seemed like an attempt to end the debate, it only fueled the fire. Critics quickly pointed out that even in her baggy clothing, the inconsistencies in her bump's appearances did not align with her pregnancy timeline. Instead of providing clarity, her explanation raised even more eyebrows. By mid-November, Gypsy appeared to grow wary of the constant scrutiny and decided to step away from social media, announcing she would no longer share personal updates. However, this decision did little to quell public interest. Around the same time, pictures from her baby shower began circulating online. These photos once again showcased puzzling inconsistencies. In some shots, her bump was visible and seemed relatively in line with someone in their third trimester. Yet, in other images taken the same day, her belly appeared completely flat. The public's confusion deepened further when a fan who encountered Gypsy in person and posted a photo of them together claimed that she did not look pregnant at all. When pressed about it in the comments, the fan admitted he hadn't noticed any baby bump, despite Gypsy's reportedly being 8 months pregnant at the time. Fast forward to December, and the discrepancies became even harder to ignore. Gypsy made several public appearances that month, including promoting her memoir and attending court for her divorce proceedings. In these appearances, her physique did not resemble that of someone approaching their due date. Critics noted her overall slim figure and the absence of any noticeable bump. On Christmas Day, Ken posted a family photo with Gypsy seated prominently. She appeared to have deliberately positioned herself in a way that might protrude her belly, yet even then it was barely noticeable. Then, just 3 days later, Gypsy announced that she had given birth to Aurora on December 28th, shocking her followers and reigniting debates. How could someone who appeared visibly non-pregnant just days prior suddenly deliver a full-term baby? This abrupt development only deepened the public's skepticism about her pregnancy timeline and the true nature of her journey. This discrepancy fueled several theories. One possibility is that Gypsy lied about her conception date and weeks of pregnancy. Another theory is that she delivered earlier than claimed, possibly going offline in November to recover. A more far-fetched but persistent theory suggests she may have used a surrogate or adopted a baby, wearing a prosthetic belly to maintain the facade of pregnancy. In the end, Gypsy's pregnancy timeline is riddled with inconsistencies. Her frequent defenses and calculated explanations only add to the public's skepticism. Was Gypsy ever truly pregnant? Did she give birth earlier than she claimed? Or was the entire journey an elaborate performance? The public might never know the truth. So what do you think? Was Gypsy's pregnancy real, a hoax, or something in between? Share your thoughts in the comments below and do not forget to like and subscribe for more updates.